Hello everyone, welcome to Excel Civils Academy. I am Akshita. I teach Polity and Governance at Excel. So in this video today we are going to briefly discuss about GS paper 2, which is part of your UPSC CSE syllabus. We'll try to understand the nature of GS paper 2. We'll also discuss briefly about the syllabus of paper 2, and I'll also try to explain to you the course plan that we have at Excel in order for you to score good marks in paper 2, both in prelims as well as mains examination. Now, all of you know, or you must have gone through the syllabus of civil services examination, especially of paper 2. If you have gone through it, you would have noticed that there are three parts to GS paper 2. One is polity, second is governance, third is international relations. Today we are going to discuss only about polity and governance, right? Now, let me give you a brief outline of this video. First, we'll try to discuss the nature of the paper. Then we'll try to understand the importance of GS paper 2, both for prelims as well as your mains examination. Then third is we'll try to understand the syllabus of polity as well as governance, right? So this is the outline of the video. The first is regarding nature of GS paper 2. Now, anyone who has given this examination for a couple of times would tell you that GS paper 2 is one of the most scoring papers as well as one of the most dynamic papers of civil services examination. Now, what do I mean by scoring? Now, if you go through the previous year prelims question papers or your mains question papers, you would find that at least 20 questions in your prelims examination would appear from GS paper 2, both from polity as well as governance, right? And if you want to clear prelims examination, you need to at least answer 90 to 95% of polity questions correctly, without which you will not be able to clear prelims exam, right? 90 to 95% of questions must be answered correctly if you want to clear prelims examination, and this is not a humongous task. Let me tell you, most of the students who are from engineering background or who don't have any background in social sciences are able to score high marks in your polity, both in prelims as well as mains, because polity is not a very difficult subject. It has very limited resources, and if you understand the concepts in polity, it is not very difficult to score good marks in prelims as well as mains, right? So the first thing is, it is a very scoring paper. Second is, it is also one of the most dynamic papers of civil services examination. Now, what do I mean by dynamic? This is one of the papers where if you do not follow what is happening around you, if you do not follow newspapers regularly, if you do not follow government websites regularly, you will not be able to answer questions, especially in your mains examination, right? It is very important to keep up to date, especially with respect to current affairs, if you want to score well in polity in your prelims as well as in your mains examination, right? So this is both scoring as well as dynamic. Since this paper is very dynamic, you need to follow newspapers as well as various government websites regularly to score good marks in prelims as well as mains, right? Now, I have already told you regarding the weightage which polity carries in your prelims examination. That is almost 20 questions, that is 40 marks appear in your prelims examination from polity. Whereas in your mains examination in GS paper 2, out of the 250 marks that you have, around 150 to 175 marks would be from polity and governance, right? Now, this is not very difficult paper, especially in mains examination. If you have followed your classes, if you have read Lakshmikant book, which is the Bible for polity, and if you have gone through newspapers, it is very easy to score at least 40 to 45% of the marks in polity and governance put together, right? And the remaining would be international relations, right? So as you can see, polity and governance is very important from marks perspective in civil services examination, right? And I would also like to mention one more thing here. If you do not understand polity and governance, if you do not go through polity and governance properly, it is very difficult for you to understand newspapers as well, right? And it will also become very difficult for you to understand other GS papers, right? So everything in civil services examination is interconnected. If you don't understand polity, if you don't understand governance, it will become very difficult for you to understand economy and other subjects in your civil services examination, right? So this is the importance which polity and governance has in this examination, both from marks perspective and also from the point of view of trying to understand other subjects in your examination, right? Now, let us try and look at the syllabus of polity and governance. Now, polity, what do you read or what do you study in polity? What exactly do you learn in classes in polity? Essentially, what we look at in polity is the constitution, right? We will try to dissect the Indian constitution, we'll try to understand various provisions of the Indian constitution. We'll also try to understand how this country, this vast country is governed, right? What are the various institutions through which this country is governed? You must have heard about terms such as parliament, state legislature, elections are going to happen, Lok Sabha elections are happening in this country now, right? And you also keep hearing about Supreme Court, High Court, various judgments which courts give. Now, what exactly does it all mean? What is parliament? Who are MPs? Who is a prime minister? Who are ministers? What is the difference between them? Is parliament and executive the same thing? Is legislature and executive the same thing, right? What is the difference between Supreme Court and High Court? All these things we'll try to understand in polity. Essentially, what I'm trying to tell you is, in polity, you will understand how this country is governed. You will understand the constitution of this country. You will also understand the constitution from the perspective of citizens. What are the rights which citizens of this country have, right? What are the various rights which the constitution has given the citizens of this country? Now, these are all the things that we are going to discuss in polity. We'll also try to understand about the functions of these institutions. What exactly do they do? Are they functioning effectively? Are there certain challenges facing these institutions? You would have definitely read in newspapers that parliament is not functioning effectively or courts in this country are not functioning effectively. What exactly are the challenges which these institutions are facing? Why are they not working effectively or functioning effectively, right? And we'll also try to delve into the reforms which are needed or the improvements which are needed in these institutions so that they can function in the way that the constitution has envisaged them to, right? So this is a brief outline of polity syllabus. I'm not going to discuss individual topics here. I'm only trying to make you understand what are the things which you're going to learn in polity, right? We'll learn about the constitution, various institutions in this country. We'll try to understand the functions of those institutions. We'll try to understand the challenges which these institutions are facing and also certain reforms or improvements which can be made to these institutions so that they function effectively, right? Now, let us come to governance. Now, governance is a very interesting topic because it will help you not only in GS paper 2, it will also very much help you in your ethics paper. If you study governance effectively, you will be able to score good marks in your ethics paper, and in case you have public administration or political science as your optional, you will also be able to score very well in your optional papers, right? So governance, many students neglect this topic in GS paper 2, but it will be at your own peril. It is very important to focus on this topic as well. Try to understand the concepts within governance. What is administration? What is bureaucracy? What are various policy schemes of Government of India? How are they implemented? Are they being implemented properly? What are the challenges which bureaucracy faces while implementing these schemes or policies? Can we make certain improvements or can we bring in some reforms so that the implementation becomes more effective or efficient, right? These are all the things that we'll be discussing in governance. Along with this, another interesting topic in governance would be your various new age legislations that we have in this country. Now, all of you, if you have ever visited a government office, you would have seen something called as Citizens Charter as soon as you enter the government office, right? Now, what exactly is the Citizens Charter? And all of you definitely would have heard about a legislation called Right to Information Act. Now, what is Right to Information Act? What are the different types of information which you get under this act? Is it really being implemented effectively? Or are there certain challenges which citizens are facing in receiving information from government? What can we do to improve the implementation of this legislation? These are all the things that we are going to discuss in governance. Along with this, another topic that we'll be discussing, and one of the most important topics, is your topic of corruption, right? This is also something that we'll discuss in governance. What are the various reasons for corruption creeping into government? Why is it such a big challenge to eliminate corruption in government? What can we do in order to eliminate this problem from our governance? And we'll also try to look at certain reforms which are suggested by various experts, committees and commissions in order to alleviate this problem. This is another topic in governance which will also help you in your ethics paper as well as your essay paper, right? Now, all these topics in polity and governance are very, very interesting. If you understand the concepts in polity and governance, you will be able to answer both prelims and mains questions effectively. You do not have to by heart anything in polity and governance, right? Which makes it very easy for you to score good marks. Unlike other subjects, you will not have to remember dates, or you will not have to cramp up your mind with a lot of information. If you follow the classes, if you follow newspapers, if you understand the concepts, 80% of the task is done. Rest is practicing answers and giving mock tests, right? Now, let me give you some information about our course plan as well. Since I told you that you need good accuracy in your prelims examination to score well in polity, and I also told you that polity and governance carries a lot of weightage in GS paper 2, what can we do from our part to help you achieve these goals? One thing is, when we teach classes, when we cover topics in polity and governance, within the class itself, we will discuss all the associated current issues which are happening in the country which are related to that topic, right? So that you will be able to better understand the topic, and you can also use this information both in your prelims and mains examination, right? So we do not have any separate current affairs topics for polity. We will try and integrate all the current affairs or all the current issues related to polity and governance when we are teaching those topics in the class itself, right? So if you follow our classes religiously, and if you take down notes religiously and use it, you will be able to score good marks in prelims as well as your mains examination, right? Now, the second thing is about the tests that we conduct. Every week we will be conducting a prelims test, and every day the faculty will also give you certain mains questions which you can write, go back, read the topic, write those mains questions and bring it to the faculty so that they can evaluate and give you certain inputs as to how you can improve answer writing for your mains examination, right? So along with classes, we also teach current affairs, we also conduct prelims tests every week, and we also give you mains questions so that you can come back to us with answers and we can help you improve your answer writing skills, which I'm sure most of you know is 80 to 90% of the game in mains examination is about how you present your answers. If you understand concepts and if you are able to finish the paper and write in a way that UPSC wants you to write, you will be able to get through mains examination with a reasonable good score, right? Now, this is our course plan. We'll be able to finish polity and governance within 2.5 months. Now that I have given you a brief outline about polity and governance and also about our course plan, I hope that you do reach out to us if you have any questions with respect to polity and governance or with respect to civil services examination in general. If you are someone who is planning to give this examination next year, it is high time that you start preparing for this examination, since it's a very long haul. You would need at least 1 year to even cover the syllabus of civil services examination. So I hope you reach out to us with any questions that you may have. We have a lot of experts with us who can help you better understand this examination, not only with respect to syllabus but also any general questions that you may have. We will all be meeting very soon at Excel Civils Academy. I hope to see you all soon at Excel Civils Academy. Thank you.